Hey, this is Robert at Guzzi Fabrication. This is part 11 of the Impala SS convertible build. We're going to be disassembling the entire rear section of this car and prep for installation of the quarter panels. Here's the right side, getting it all unboxed. You always keep your fingers crossed that it's not damaged. And it looks like we have a good one. Okay, we're going to start this off with a restoration tip. Now, this quarter panel has no trim mounting holes. So here's a quick and easy way to get the correct spacing. We have chose tape that's roughly the same width as the body line. And now we're going to feel our way through that and cut that out. That is the trim mounting hole. And we're just going to work our way down. And these holes look a little willy wonky. They don't look straight, but that's not what we're after. We're after the spacing. And of course, that quarter panel doesn't look too great either. Or the line on it, I should say. Okay, and we have our little reference marks for the start and the stop. So what you're going to want to do is cut that in half. Yeah, do yourself a favor. Carefully peel off the tape, keeping it as straight as possible. And cutting that in half will make it much easier to transfer it. Otherwise, yeah, you might be doing it twice. And it's like I said, we are mainly after the spacing. We're going to put this where I think it should go, the tape. And get it all aligned up correctly. And that looks pretty good to me. And we're just going to put our reference marks. You can use a scribe marker. Now again, we're not drilling holes yet. We just want our reference marks. And so now we have the correct factory spacing. And it is so much easier to do it this way than figure it out later. Okay, so we are going to be rebracing this car. If you've been following along, we have installed a complete floor, complete upper deck, rebuilt the inner wheelhouses. Now we're going to start on the rear section, get these quarters off of there, and address the inner wheelhouses. And so we are going to move the support. Now, this support we had taken out. This was in on the initial phases, but it was removed to replace the upper trunk deck. We've got that repositioned, tack welded back into place. And these are our adjustable rear mounts. And these are inverted scaffolding jacks that I kind of repurposed. So we want to get those in the down position. And as soon as we do, we want to check our alignment. After every time you change anything with the supports, you want to recheck the alignment. If anything moves, you need to know so you can address it then. Otherwise, it'll be compounding problems. Don't want that. Okay, we're going to remove this brace and we're going to replace it with this stanchion, and it's going to go underneath of a brace, not on the floor pan. Okay, we are completely unsupported, but we have resupported the car in different areas. And I'm really confident with that. And that's tack welded into place on the bottom. And we're checking our door gaps again. Now that body line, I don't know what's up with that yet, but that's been a consistent. We're looking for the gap, the parallel of the body panel to door gap is what we're concerned with. Okay, checking the passenger side. We're still gold there. So now we can proceed. Okay, the next step, you always want a reference. Now we could do it without installing the deck lid, but we're going to use the deck lid as a reference. We want to get that thing on and aligned before we cut these quarters off. Now this is a replacement deck lid. Okay, so now we are installing the torsion rods, and that helps keep the trunk up. Trunk assist rods, whatever you desire to call them. We're installing them. And here's how. Okay, they go in that position. Now this little arm fits into it just like this. And on the opposite side. Now, I always use a socket and an extension. It always works really well. I've seen guys use screwdrivers and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'll skip that one. And here's another shot of it, in case you're trying to figure these out. Okay, the deck lid doesn't fit that well. And that's pretty obvious. That's the passenger side. We'll move on over here to the driver's side. Yeah, we've got some work to do. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect alignment, but it needs to be a little bit closer than that. So we'll spend some time trying to figure that out. Okay, fast forward, and here's what we've come up with. Still not perfect. The in the video it looks pretty good, but yeah, it's going to take a little more work. Yeah, you can see there, that's definitely no bueno. And the passenger side is still tight in the back. We've got a decent gap going forward and a decent gap at the leading edge. But yeah, definitely tapers towards the back. The gap on the driver's side isn't bad, but like I said, we're going to have to address some things. Okay, we need to get this little bracket out of here because we need to preserve the trunk gutter. If you buy new quarter panels, it does not come with a new quarter panel. So don't cut it in half or throw the old quarter panel away. You're going to need that piece. And I'm just laying out some rough cut marks. Now, rough cut is cutting the majority of the metal out of the way, but that's not our final cut. We're going to have to cut at least 2 times, maybe 3, because they do not make convertible quarter panels. So we're going to have to splice or graft a hardtop or coupe quarter panel onto this car and retain that top section. Okay, no turning back now. Get that tail section out of the way. Now we don't want to cut too low because you'll cut into the inner wheelhouse. And we're having to graft the outer wheelhouse. They don't make that part either for the convertible. Now I'm going to stop short here because I don't want the quarter panel just falling off. I left a little bit attached so I can go through and check it, make sure everything's cut through. And now I'm going to go back and cut off that little section that was holding this quarter panel into place. And instead of cutting this all in one piece, I'm going to cut it down to size so no accidents happen. And that little piece is much easier to handle than this whole piece. There it is. Yeah, we will have to retain that top section. And again, we want to check our gaps. And that's a great indication that the car is supported correctly and all of the work that has been done so far has been done correctly. Otherwise, it would be weak and you would get movement. Okay, we're going to just cut this thing up in little sections. Get it out of there. And I'm finding out that there is collision damage on the driver's side that's underneath of all this. Yeah, this car's been a mess. It's been a real mess. A lot of unexpected things, but that's part of it. And you have to factor all that stuff in. Never straightforward, and no two cars are the same. Hit that like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.